Oh, okay.
Robert ends up having shaved facial hair.
Did you guys hear that?
Pink is such your color, Robert.
Well, I'm wearing a pink shirt.
It really works
The
though.
floral accent happening.
Yes, it's lovely.
Oh, so fancy.
You know, I told my son that this is true. In the 15th century, pink was a masculine warrior's color. If you had pink on your flag, it was an indication of fierceness.
Fierceness.
Ferocity.
So it still is.
Fierceness.
Brown. Bob's our Charmander, and it goes in the black lake.
Where's Pikachu, Dan?
When
You know,
I
iPhones have time lapse now.
Yep.
Yeah. I noticed that when they did the last update, you could do a time lapse.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Pikachu going on the inner here.
Yeah, it's gonna go right
Are you using that kit?
And it's gonna have Steam. It's gonna be Super Smash Bros. Style. He's gonna have both.
Can I borrow it just for like 2 places on there? Because I'm gonna run upstairs. Not really run.
But I have
I'm
gotten
gonna
your tattoo
walk.
since I've seen you.
He'll be a Steam.
Steve, look at you.
Which?
It's still too short.
Yeah, I saw that earlier.
You know that I have a tripod with a clamp for one of those.
Oh, you do?
It's in my class. It's in the basket just beside the TV stand. Can somebody run down and grab a little tripod?
Like where the newspaper
Yeah, it's got a clamp for the phone. So it's easy to- yeah.
That's the best picture I've taken of you all day.
I was taking time lapse when we did a facial prosthetic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
So
pink.
it,
Oh, you actually did your
over
hair.
a period of an hour and a half, they turned to be
I like it.
Yeah, it's half of it personal and half of it.
that
I
was-
like it.
She has extensions. Do you remember the my hair was long blue? She has those extensions now.
Well, it's magic.
Oh, I found some hair. I'll bring it in. It's,
Okay.
it's not. It's like 100 grams of hair.
So is everybody ready to get going?
So excited.
Awesome. So the primer, always very important to just come through and prime every single client before you do anything, and to protect your lovely models from the many, many layers we're about to put on their skin.
Are you gonna give them like diva brows too?
Oh yes.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Are you going fish?
Diva brows.
Or are you going clown?
We'll see.
Or are you
It's
going
gonna be one of those-
campy?
Let's go really.
It's gonna be one of those things. It's gonna kind of progress as the time goes on.
love it.
Love. Or like super classic, like what's her name? Divine Drag.
Good.
And the wonderful thing about this primer
Thank
as
you.
well, this
Thank
one
you.
Ask me how that works. I have no idea.
I know somebody here who knows how it
How
works.
does it work?
Everyone's just coming in.
I wish I knew. I looked at it.
Oh yeah, it's live.
Everyone's coming in.
Oh, I basically just ran around like everyone can take a look at this video. Maybe we'll grab. Actually, grab. I don't get how this works, but. How does it work?
It's live, so I kind of.
You can extend it.
Come on.
here.
Help us.
Somebody want to offer some tech
I'm a
support?
dinosaur.
That's a little too
This
far.
one go.
Terry's just like, what?
All the way up.
I don't think you're gonna need it that tall though.
Right here would be good. Sweet.
I hope it fits in that bracket.
Oh, it should.
Yeah, that's, yes.
Yeah, that's the
You
extent.
just pull it up as far as it goes and clamp it in.
What phone do you have, Tanja?
The
The one that works.
Okay, that's
Sure.
it. Does that work?
Yay! You guys are awesome. This is a dinosaur.
It's on an angle.
It's okay.
That was a lot more smoother than I anticipated.
What?
You can. You could always shorten this leg and make it go that way. Shorten that leg. Yeah.
What is this technology?
So, shorten, shorten, shorten. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And it's level. Good. Right there.
Sweet.
Just leave it.
Yay!
That's perfectly level.
Teamwork.
Awesome. So since we're primed, moisturized, ready to go, we're going to move right into brow cover right away. Reason being is because we want to be able to camouflage everything. Starting off with a little bit of rubbing alcohol onto the brow itself. Yes, keep your eyes closed, please. What we want it to be is completely oil-free, so we have everything clean and fresh. So, I'm going to do some area. Your glue stick is purple.
Beautiful. I want to check out
So when going through brow cover, what we want to do is be sure that all the hairs are coated. So we're going to go against the brow first and down. Hopefully this glue stick will work out for me here.
So many uses for glue sticks.
Yeah. And then we're going to come push back up again. One thing to be aware of as well is how far you are pushing back up, because we don't want to put too much glue up onto the forehead itself, because that is adding more texture than we really want. We don't want to have too much buildup happening or any unnatural texture, I guess you could say, in areas that we don't need it. Just going against, and then back over. And then I'm going to use a spoolie or the back of a brush just to help flatten everything out. We want to try to get these brows as tight to the skin as possible. We're gluing these guys down because we want them to stick as flat as possible to the skin.
You have majestic eyebrows, Robert.
I have Eugene Levy eyebrows.
And then some.
And so we can already see how that front portion is starting to lay really nice and flat.
Can I let your baby see too?
Don't be shy if you guys want to get up and come to peek as well. Feel free. You can invade my bubble. Laugh it out.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
So your brows are going to take a couple layers.
I apologize for my brows.
Oh, it's all right. It's for you.
They do have potential for an amazing shape, though. You should consider it.
Do that on cat's eyebrows.
Yeah, shrivel up these bad boys.
They were hard.
I don't mind if you have to tweeze some stragglers.
That, like we said, that would take way too long.
I love how we just use the
Far
word
too-
yeah. We can raise it
More like
off.
Wax
My
would
daughter,
probably.
Oh my
she
God.
We'll
needs
razor
some
it off,
brows and then
Robert.
Want him alone.
She did it for a while. It looked really freaky when I came over first thing in the morning. She had a pencil in her brows.
Look like a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dating's a breeze.
It's going on to the YouTube.
So it's going to take a couple layers. One thing you can always do as well is use your fingers around the edges just to be sure we don't get too much buildup happening on the actual forehead or temple area of the skin. Because as soon as you put foundation over top of glue, it does show. But with the magic of doing things in the world of movie and television, you do have ways of covering pretty much any texture. And with drag as well, some texture is all right. Because you're painting for the back row, you want everybody at the other end of, say, the bar, the concert hall, whatever, to see what you have on. Up close, not pretty.
It's like they said in Tootsie, zoom in, zoom in. Oh my God, that's too close.
Nobody said that earlier.
Awesome. I like that. You should just always do much.
I'll have to start doing it when I can get my grandson kicked out of the bathroom. Jumping up and down on the toilet. Papa, Papa, I want cereal.
Oh.
let it soak until they got the slime. And then they would take the soap slime and use that
Oh.
to lay down the eyebrows. Yeah.
It's okay. Like,
It's a certain kind of soap you have to use
You have
too.
to use a certain
Yeah.
kind, definitely.
And I'm sure if I did this every day, they'd probably behave and lay down nicely. But I don't, so.
Well, we're just gonna have to work with it.
All good.
Exactly.
Just starting to take it.
Starting to. What else will reinforce the bill? This eyebrow is just not having it.
Good to begin.
This eyebrow is going to give us a little bit of texture, so.
When we did The Hobbit, I had to
Waffles?
become a Thorin
Chicken and
Oaken shield,
waffles.
so they made my
Still
eyebrows
waffles.
bigger than
Yeah.
that. Great. A road goes ever on and on.
Ew.
Theater and so on. Oh, no, I
Is it-
did
is it
it last week. It's real theater. It's just improv. So, yeah, I don't even think it is real theater, right? I think of it as, yeah, we go to a big banquet hall and I act like a king, wander around, improv all night.
That
sing a
sounds
couple
like your
songs.
normal classroom.
Yeah. Improv is so much fun.
Just like everyday life, isn't it?
Oh. Sure, you really like it, except you're living your fantasy. It's fun.
As much as this one's gonna want to stick. So, we're gonna work with that. While we let that dry is a really good opportunity to come through and start working on color correction in the sense of beard cover. So, when we're thinking about color correction, this area is typically blue on a man, right? So we'd want to use something a little bit more on the side of orange, coral. I've heard of some people even using red or orange lipstick in a pinch. There's many different ways you can go about it. We're gonna make you orange, so. We don't have to worry about as much because you just shaved. Pretty much just going everywhere that would have facial hair come through it. If you are doing, say, more of a bearded look, if you are doing this on somebody else who has a full-on beard, don't worry about it.
I mean, I could have kept my beard. I'm gonna kill you.
Love you.
Here's what we'll do.
That wasn't a maniacal laugh. I don't know what was.
There wasn't intent behind that.
If she goes missing, it's not because I've killed her.
We'll understand, we'll understand.
Thank you.
Ouch! Monday is chicken and waffles.
Where?
The comment. Waffles.
Their chicken and waffles is amazing.
I've had a chicken waffle burger.
Half price bottles of wine. Waffles. Oh, yeah.
So I'm just coming through, plastering this down,
I think I
blending
want
as I go as well.
It's-
Because we don't want to have this area be as evident that we've layered up a lot more. We want to keep it smooth, cohesive.
Spicy
Chin, just chin up a little bit for me, thank
bacon,
you.
waffle, and grilled pear. I can talk about it. No, seriously.
So, since our lovely model here has darker eyebrows, I'm going to take some of the orange over the brows as well. So it makes it a lot easier for when we do come through and apply foundation. We don't want to have this smearing around. We want it to be locked down and in place.
So do you powder in between a lot of your?
It was not as much of a challenge to make Samara look like a drag queen.
It would not be.
It would not be. To make me look like a drag queen up there.
Although we could make Samara look like a drag king.
Well, that's true.
So we have our base down. What I want to start doing is really mapping out and creating that groundwork for our eye look. When it comes to drag, we always want to go bigger, better, stronger, all that kind of good stuff. And so what I'm going to do is use his bone structure as a guideline for cutting a new crease. I like to use lip liners for this because they do blend a little bit better versus an eyeliner, but you do have that versatility to go wherever you like. Just a little bit. We can see how the actual brow bone itself has a bit of a peak here. I'm going to go slightly above that and slightly over the brow area as well because I want to open up and create more of that lid space. So, and this part, again, this is just our map. It doesn't have to be completely set in stone. We're going to be blending it out. So we're creating that new hollow point or that new crease line. And I'm also going to wing it out slightly from the brow. Reason being is because typically in drag what we want to do is really lift. We want to really completely change the way the facial structure is built. So having that lift is going to help to shrink the forehead and bring the cheekbones out when we go to contour them as well. So we're going to match up on this side. You're going to close for me. Perfect.
It's Daniela. She's wearing heels.
Danielle, are you wearing heels?
Something a little bit fluffier can work. I'm going to use something a bit more dense because we want to deposit that color really quite strong. And this is where you can come through and really establish your shadows and really create that depth before we start bringing in the brightness. So I'm thinking your color today is going to be more in the purples.
Yes.
Something more cool toned.
Purples and pinks to match his wig.
I'm a fall.
Oh, you're more of a summer. You're so pink.
You're so rosy.
Yeah.
I was watching us upstairs.
So creepy.
Just creep it real time, just creep
As I said, this is literally getting a live feed through YouTube right now.
I didn't know that. I didn't know the internet could do that.
We have
Watching it right now?
Magical place.
Pardon?
People watching it right now?
Yes.
Ready?
I don't know. I had to go make phone calls.
Didn't want to miss a thing.
I'm like, oh, I want to see what they're doing. Is Robert looking fabulous? Looking gorgeous.
Fierce.
Work it.
I love that.
So again, this is just our establishment of our shapes. I'm going to come through and powder the brows down now because we don't want to have any more mixing happening than necessary. Picking up again the neutral set. We're going to come over and completely press into this brow area. And it does help as well, once it's powdered, to really help block out those brows a bit. Be very fine. You can come back over and layer up another cream on top of it if you'd like. If you find that your brow cover isn't satisfactory or to what your overall look is. And for the sake of time, I'm going to try to let my perfectionist side go out the window. And we're just pressing this in.
You just want to top off the brow hairs that are.
It's the bulkiness of your brow.
That's the bulkiness of the brow.
It's not just certain hairs, it's
the
the whole
mess,
brow itself.
You know.
Should have just shaved them off, Robert.
Special effects has already gone through enough this morning.
Don't give him any ideas.
Fifth one out of the full group.
Awesome. So before I go any further, now this is where I'm going to start bringing in that foundation, that really strong base to start bringing that face together. I have a feeling the shade might be a little fair for you, but you know what, in the long haul, it's always easier to darken rather than lighten when it comes to foundations, so I'm not overly worried. So this is where the fun begins. Everything becomes one cohesive color. And we can see as I'm bouncing over top, the beard cover area isn't moving, which is what we want. If you notice that it's starting to move, feel free to come back through and throw a little bit of translucent powder back on top. We're going full coverage here. We want to go really deep into the pores. We don't want them to show. We want to pretty much mask everything that we knew to be our face.
So guys, keep in mind what kind of motions he's making as well, whether it's sweeping motions, whether it's dabbing motions as well, because this is ultimately going to help you in the long run. If he's making dabbing motions, what this is allowing to do is apply a second layer over top without colors mixing together. So one is applying a translucent powder, two is the motion that your guys are going to be doing as well. So keep in mind, most of the time you're going to be dabbing with a wet sponge, and that will transfer the color from one finger sponge onto your face. Now for product-wise as well, when you guys are doing drag makeup, the products that we're using here, we're using high coverage foundations. We're using a Makeup Forever foundation stick, and we're using Kat-Von Detach and Cover foundation. So to keep in mind with drag makeup, for females it might be a little bit different because you're not covering up things like imperfections, harsh hair, facial hair, things like that. You might not have to go so hard into using high definition products or thick products, but when you're doing it on male, it's going to help you a lot if you use your high definition and your thick coverage foundations and concealers.
Exactly. And one thing too is if your model's ears are showing or anything like that, always be sure to foundation the ears. Nothing worse than having red ears. I think I'd put that rule in everyday life if possible.
Yeah, ears are always the one thing that's always left out. You always end up doing the face, blend maybe to the tragus area of your ear, but make sure just go over the entire